Yo, what's going on everybody out there? Welcome back to a brand new video here on my hip hop CD shelf by shelf collection overview. This is going to be part 10 and of course part 3 of the C section. I think we left off with some common, with some common, so we'll get into some Northwest stuff here. First, I just want to thank everybody for watching the videos and also commenting. Again, leave comments down below. If you guys are enjoying the videos and stuff like that. So, and I will try to get back to you and we'll talk some hip hop. So anyways, we're going to take it here to Seattle with some Common Market with Ross Yan and Sabsi, the DJ MC combo of Common Market from, I think I'd mentioned Seattle. Northwest stuff here. I know a lot of people, when you hear hip hop from Seattle, you always think of Sir Mix-a-Lot. At least I always do, because I mean that was 80s into the 90s and stuff with Sir Mix-a-Lot. But there's a lot of great groups that came out of Seattle, post 2000. There really was a lot of this underground kind of conscious kind of boom bappy, just good stuff. I know we talked about some stuff earlier. I know Boom Bap Project is from Seattle and so on and so on. But yeah, Common Market, really good group, man. Connect For, that's a really dope track on here. Whole album, really good stuff from 2005. This one came out a few years later in 2008, I believe, Tobacco Road. Along the same lines, it's not as good as the first one, but it's still really dope. Along the same lines, it didn't change a whole lot, but, still really, really solid stuff from Common Market. I love that. The album cover's dope. That's really cool. All right, so getting into one of my personal favorite albums of all time, Company Flow, Fun Crusher Plus, 1997, Ruckus. What can I say, man? This is LP. It is, at the beginning, man. The beginning of what I would like to call like LP's 3 different careers. He has the Ruckus era, then he has the Def Jux era, and then he has the Run the Jewels. And there's so many people out there. It blows my mind still that people don't even know that LP that had this whole career before Run the Jewels. I'm trying to explain to my buddy, and he's like, really? He's like, I just thought he was some old white dude. I was like, no. He's been around forever, man. Like mid-90s, kind of thing, getting his game started. Did the Ruckus era, and then of course he was, started off Def Jux and did all that stuff. And Run the Jewels, it blows my mind. But there's so many people that I've shown this record and some of the Def Jux stuff to that had never heard any of that LP stuff. And we're blown away. They're like, that's absolutely fucking crazy. But yeah, if you've never heard this CoFlow record, you got to check it out, man. This is the beginning of LP's insane production. Like in 1997, to hear something like this was insane. The first time I heard Company Flow, I think was on the DJ Premier, the New York mixtape or whatever it was. I've got copies of it around here. I think it was the first time I heard, and I think, was it 8 Steps to Perfection was the song on there? I think that was the song that was on there. And I was like, totally floored by the production. I was just like, who are these cats, man? And then the album dropped. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's so good, so damn good. If you're a fan of LP production from nowadays and stuff, you got to go back and check this out. But one of my personal favorite albums of all time. I can listen to this every single day. It might even be in my personal favorite top 10 albums. That's how much I love this album. I can listen to it all the time, and I really do. I really do listen to it all the time. So it's amazing. Another one of my personal favorite albums is Compton's Most Wanted's first album. It's a Compton thing. Now, Compton's Most Wanted, man, super underrated as a group. No one ever talks about these cats. In my personal opinion, I think their first 3 albums are all classics. And in fact, MC8 actually had a run of 4 straight with We Come Strapped for a classic records. They're all personal favorites of mine. Whether you consider them classics or not, it doesn't really matter. But they're all personal favorites of mine. I can listen to these albums all the time. It's just great, man. MC8, chill. Oh, production's amazing. It's good stuff. You've never heard It's a Compton thing. It's amazing. I was so happy to find a copy of this at Amoeba Records, I believe in San Francisco, actually, 15 plus years ago, maybe more than that, maybe 20 years ago. I can't remember. I had the tape growing up in it. I can't remember if it broke or got stolen, how the tapes happened in the 90s. Anyways, by the time I had lost the tape, this CD was long out of print, and I was like, shit, and I just never wanted to pay the prices for it. And I came across this, I think, for like $10. It was crazy. It was so cheap, even out of print, and it was dirt cheap. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing stuff. Then they dropped Straight Checking 'Em in 1991, I believe. Oh, great stuff, man. The Death Wish on there. Growing Up in the Hood. Man, it's just Drive By Miss Daisy. There's so much good shit here on here, man. Absolutely love Competence also on it, man. It's great stuff. And then they dropped Music to Drive By. Oh man, What the Hood Took Me Under, man. I love this album cover. That overhead shot with the album cover in the back. It's like so dope. It's such a dope album cover. It's great. Again, it's just full of amazing shit. We got Duck Sick 2 on here. It started part of the Duck Sick stuff. Yeah, In Too Deep with Scarface is really dope. It's just filled with bangers. Classic material, in my opinion. So if you like MC8 and chill, get on it. Then we got Represent, which came out years later. I want to say around in the early 2000s, I think. Really different sound. It's okay. I mean, a lot of the MC8 records in the kind of middle to 2000s weren't the greatest. He's really resurrected his career now, man. Like, fuck, man. All his shit that he's been putting out in the last bunch of years has been really good, man. So this is okay. It's okay. It's worth owning, though. All right, so getting into some Comrades here. It's a group that that Ice Cube, I believe, put on back in the day. I think he was part of that whole thing. He wasn't. They actually weren't signed to Lynch Mob Records, which they were affiliated with the whole crew and stuff like that, though. But it's pretty cool, pretty good album. I never checked out their second album. I always remember the song Homeboys on here. It's very, very catchy, but it's got some good stuff on here. Worth owning. Comrades, dope record, actually. Then we got some Concrete Click, Lyrical Terrorism, the EP. This is from Smoke On Records, boutique label out of Germany, I believe. Yes, these guys are from Boston. I'm not sure if these albums had releases back then, maybe like independent releases or whatever. So these may be re-releases or just stuff that had never been released. I can't quite remember. But yeah, really dope 90s boom bap shit, man. Awesome. Concrete Click shit. Dope. Gotta love it. And then they got the Authentic Leftovers, again from Smoke On Records, 93, 95 shit. And again, along the same lines, it's pretty much the exact same kind of stuff you're getting on the Lyrical Terrorism. But again, really, really dope. Good stuff from Concrete Click. If you're into that 90s raw boom bap shit right there. Consequence. Q-Tip's cousin. Take Him to the Cleaners. I've never really been the biggest Consequence fan, to be honest. You know I'm a huge fan of Beach Rhyme and Life. And he's okay. Like, I mean, he's fine on those. You know, he's got a lot of Kanye West. This is considered to be an album. I really don't think. Mixtape hosted by Kanye West. Yeah. For some reason, it always comes up under, like, albums and shit. It's weird. It's totally a mixtape. 100% mixtape. I'm not, like, the biggest mixtape fan, like, stuff like this, because a lot of the stuff is just kind of like, feels just so throwaway. Feels like, whatever, freestyles and shit like that. You got Kanye West, got some Little Brother on there. Some cool features. It's okay. It's okay at best. And they dropped this A Tribe Called Quince. It was like the 95 to 2004 kind of remixes and songs that he had done with Tribe and that he remixed and stuff, like, you know, Motivators remix, Wordplay, The Jam, Mind Power. And they all sound like shit. Like, these are like he did remixes and then just decided not to master them or mix them properly. So you did you didn't do the mixing part, motherfucker. It sounds pretty shitty, actually. The first bunch of tracks do anyways, from what I remember. But, you know, there's a couple decent additions on here, but otherwise, it's very, very forgettable, to be honest. We got The Connection, Huss Kingpin and Smooth. This was on DigiCrates, a label that was, man, fuck DigiCrates, man. I remember ordering from these guys and they totally fucked me over hardcore, and I was like, fuck DigiCrates. So I'm glad this label doesn't really exist anymore. Was it back in 2010? I know Huss has been just doing it up the last few years. Same with Smooth, doing their shit, man. Been very consistent the last 12 years, 14 years or whatever with putting out music. Like Huss, man, fuck, he puts out so much music. It's crazy. A lot of good stuff. This was a really dope album, man. Connect 101 from The Connection. We should go back and do some more stuff, but this is really good. I highly recommend that. Good stuff from 2010. Constant Deviance. Yeah, man. Dope ass group here. I think Constant Deviance is from Brooklyn. I think they're from Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're from Brooklyn. So this is, I believe, their third album. And this is when I got up on these guys. I have never checked out their first two albums, but I remember checking this one out randomly. I don't know why. And it turned out to be really damn good. I really like it. Like, It's Okay. I think It's Okay is actually a single on here, but the whole record is just, it's really good, man. Good boom bap stuff from Brooklyn. Newer wage kind of stuff, but, 2012, good stuff. And then we got some Ave Grande here. Constant Deviance. This was the album right after that one. I believe it came out a couple years after. Not as good, but it was still pretty dope. Let me know if you guys are familiar with these cats and if their first couple albums are worth seeking out. I mean, I probably will seek them out someday because I'm not really. A lot of people think I'm a completist, and sometimes I am and I'm not. There's certain artists I'll buy everything from no matter what, and then there's others that I just kind of leave it alone. But I don't know, like Constant Deviance, there's a lot of material I don't have from them, but But let me know if their first two albums are as good as their third record. So, but Avant Grande, it was okay from what I remember. Then we got Cool C, man. Fuck, I gotta have it. I love this record. Of course, we all know the story with Cool C. Him and Steady B did some bad shit, held up a bank, cop got killed. Steady B's got a life sentence. Cool C is on death row. He's been on death row for like 30 years now. He stayed execution a few times, actually. I'm not sure how that really works, but it's been like 30 fucking years, man, since he's been on death row. Like, I couldn't imagine being on death row for 30 years. That's just a crazy mind fuck, dude. But I like this record. I really got to find his second album, and I love his second album. I really like his second album, and that was it. We got like, 5 Steady B albums, the group album, and then a couple of Cool C records, and I guess there's still a little bit of material, but yeah, Cool C, man, sucks. Would have been cool to see what those guys would have been like in the 90s, like further on in the 90s and shit, but I might be saying this quite a bit in here, but another one of my personal favorite albums of all time, Big Mike and Lord Mr. 3-2, rest in peace to 3-2, of course, from the Black Monks also. Yeah, Big Mike, the One-Time Ghetto Boy also. Oh, I love this album, man. I wish they had it done more. I mean, I think, this album came out, I believe, in 92. Yeah, I think it was like 92, and then the year after is when he joined the Ghetto Boys in place of Willie D for Till Death Do Us Part album, which I love that record too. Big fan of Big Mike, man. He's got a bunch of projects that are amazing. We talked about him earlier in the Bees, but Something Serious and shit. I love that record. Fucking great album, man, from Rap-A-Lot. Can never go wrong with this. Every song. Super, super entertaining record. Awesome. Love the Convicts. I believe that one's a little bit harder to find now these days for a decent price, but, you might be able to see. I know a lot of that early Rap-A-Lot stuff, man. They don't really reissue it properly, and when they do on vinyl, it's songs missing and blah, blah, blah. But they don't reissue shit, and it sucks for the people that want those albums and don't want to pay those third-party prices and shit, so I get it. But if you can find a copy of the Convicts record, seek it out. It's amazing. The Cool Kids, the Bake Sale. Yes, this is where I grabbed the name for mine and Jay's review show that we do. We don't call it a podcast. It's just a video review series that we do. I'm not really the biggest fan of the Cool Kids, but I always loved this album cover and the name of the album called The Bake Sale. I think it's just awesome. So that's where I ganked the title from for that video series, which we will be returning. We're just kind of on a summer break because I'm really never home. I'm actually just recording this video as I'm heading out to my cabin. I just thought maybe I'd get up another video. I spend more time out of town than I'm at home in the summer, which I probably explain a lot, but I really am not home. And I try to do videos when I can, so... But yeah, the Cool Kids, the Bake Sale, from what I remember, it's okay. I think I actually even have, I still actually do have the poster on the wall over there, as you can see. Yeah, the Cool Kids, nice. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've listened to it. I'm not going to front, man. It's been a while. Can't quite remember. And another personal favorite album of mine of all time, Coolio's It Takes a Thief. Yeah, I fucking love this album, man. I was so impressed with this album. Because I love the first WC in the Mad Circle record. And Coolio, of course, was part of that group. And I heard that he was going solo back in the day. And I was like, okay. And then this shit dropped. And he dropped fucking Fantastic Voyage. And I was like, motherfucker, that's cool. But the whole record, man, I love this record, dude. It Takes a Thief. The story in that, it's just crazy. I love it, man. I remember Course of the Licks is dope, man. But the whole record is just fun. Say we will about Coolio. This was a dope record, and he was fun on WC in the Mad Circle, but always loved it. Always loved it. Have that on vinyl too, actually. Ganx's Paradise. This is when Coolio, when it really started to lose faith in Coolio here. This album actually has a lot of good songs on it. Like, I like Ghetto Highlights. Ganx's Paradise, you can do what it is. I hated the song Too Hot. I never liked it. Exercise Your Game with E40 is a dope track. Is It Me is really good, man. Bright as the Sun. He's got some good tracks on here. I think they get it. No, The Revolution. Is that the song with WC? I think WC is on that track. But yeah, it's kind of like a hit and miss record. But I think there's more hits on here than misses. Everybody knows Ganx's Paradise, man. It is what it is. I hate this album cover. It's so ugly. Just terrible artwork, man. Oh, and then I was like, you know what? I'll try it. I'll try it out. I bought this when it came out. Coolio My Soul. Oh, I don't even remember liking a song on this record, if I can recall. I don't even think I've listened to this since 1997. I'm not even joking. I think I listened to this once or twice, and that was it. I was like, I can't. It was just so bad. 97 gets shit on for records, but there's a lot of good albums in 97. If you really dig, man, I got in a conversation with my buddy, and he was like, yeah, 97 was a terrible year. And I'm like, nah. And I started listening up some albums, and he's like, fuck, man, 97 is pretty fucking dope. I think I changed his mind when I mentioned Koflo from 1997. He's like, yeah, fuck. Yeah, this is not one of the better albums. Terrible. Into some copyright here. Ultrasound the Rebirth EP. I think this was a re-release. I think it might have had some extra stuff on here. Or maybe it wasn't released. I can't remember the story with this. I do like copyright quite a bit. From the Weathermen. This was good though, man. Copyright, he's got some good shit, man. This was really good. Highly recommend that, actually. Again with this one too, man. The High Exalted, the 8th anniversary edition. I don't understand. What's with the 8th year anniversary, man? I don't understand the 8th anniversary. It's kind of a strange thing. Maybe there's something more to it that I'm missing. But this is definitely extended. It's got some remixes and stuff like that on here. Yeah, got some Motion Man on there. Fucking awesome, man. I love Motion Man. Love his shit he did with Cutmaster Kurt. It's dope. Yeah, this is really good. Highly recommend this if you guys can find this. I don't know if these things are expensive. They go for money and stuff. I don't know. I feel like they were out of print like really quick though. Copyright in Planet Asia. That's right, man. They dropped an album a couple years ago. I don't know if people even really know about this one. I believe it's from, Tough Kong Records, which is, I think it's an Italian label. It's another European. All these boutique labels are from Europe now, man. They're all from Europe, and the shitty thing about importing is the conversion, and the shipping's always shitty. So I don't think this one's overly that hard to get, but I really enjoyed this. It was just one of those records that kind of came out of left field for me. I was like, Copyright and Planet Asia did a record together? What the fuck? But then again, Planet Asia has got to be the biggest workhorse cat in the industry, man. This guy puts out so much damn material. And I liked Planet Asia because, and I mentioned this before, he works with a lot of like single producers for records. Like he did a whole album with Evidence back in the day called The Medicine, and he just keeps going on and on and on. But he's always solid, man. I don't understand the hate that some people give Planet Asia. Actually, one of my best friends, man, one of my best homies, man, he's not a Planet Asia fan. And he's always like, yeah, he sounds good on this track. And he's like, I just can't get into him, I think he just bores him. I don't know. But this is good. I really enjoyed that. It was kind of nice to hear Copyright again. I hadn't heard anything from him in a while. So, Cormega the Realness. Now, this right here is a special edition CD that actually has both of them on here. So it does have the dual, and it's got both albums and stuff. Now, I did have both these original CDs on CD, and I gave them to my buddy after I bought this, because this actually, on the True Meaning actually had a bunch of bonus tracks and stuff like that on there. And I do remember the Realness actually on the original CD actually has, I believe, Killis Theme 2 on the original disc, which is not on here. So I kind of gave him something I didn't even know. Whatever. I bought this for the bonus tracks and stuff, and then my buddy was over one day, and he was a big Cormega fan. And he's like, dude, I can't find these. I think they were out of print. They were going for money and shit. And he was broke. And I was like, you know what, brother? I'll give you my CDs out of the kindness of my heart. Out of the kindness of my heart. And that's a true story. So what can I say, man? The Realness and True Meaning, in my opinion, they're both classics, man. Just nothing but solid material. The production's amazing on this. Cormega comes real raw on these, man. Real good storytelling. Good flows. The bonus tracks are cool on here. There's some tracks from The Testament, which was his first album and stuff, and then there's some other songs, remixes, and other shit that's on there. Worth owning, very cool. I highly recommend both albums. If you can't find this, maybe find the solo ones. I think they've been re-released even on vinyl recently, which is kind of hard to get, I think, but yeah. So yeah, here's Legal Hustle, which I believe is considered to be more of a compilation, kind of a mixtape type deal. It's okay, it's got some joints on here. Not really, yeah, like I said, it's not an album. It was released like on Koch, so I'm wondering if this was a bunch of songs that were left over in the vaults and they're just like, hey, Cormega's hitting right now. We're going to release this called Legal Hustle. So it's not an album. It's not an album, it's more of a compilation. It's okay though. It's not really that great. So then they released, Cormega got the rights to the Testament Masters, which this is Cormega's first album. This is before, his first two, True Meaning and Realness. This was recorded, I believe, in the mid-90s. It was supposed to come out in like 97 or 98 or something like that. And he ended up releasing it because it got shelved by the company. I can't remember who he was signed with at all. But it got shelved, and he obtained the rights and put it out in like 2005, which is pretty cool. There's some dope tracks. 62 Pickup, Angel Dust. I think Montana's Diary is actually a bonus track that's on there. Dead Man Walking, I think, is too. Killer's Theme, that's where that comes from. So, yeah, Testament, dope shit. Really good stuff. Then he dropped Born and Raised, which I believe came out in 2000. Shit, man, I can't remember the years. Fuck, all the years kind of flow together for me. This was really good though, man. I really enjoyed Born and Raised. I'm a huge Cormega fan. I think he's dope, dude. I have no idea why people shit on this dude, man. The Mega Fresh X, oh man. Red Alert, we got PMD on there, Grand Pooba, KRS-One, Big Daddy King. Can you get any better than that? And of course all the usual cats like Havoc, Tragedy, stuff like that. This is really good. Really, really enjoyed that album. And here's another one I really liked, man, was Raw Forever, man. Like, Cormega doesn't really seem to put out that much bad stuff. I never grabbed the Who Am I, it's the CD soundtrack and, the documentary for him. I don't know why I never grabbed that. I do need to grab that, though. I just remember the music not being, like, overly the greatest, but... So, this right here is basically the first disc here, which is odd. The first disc is, like, a greatest hits, like the best of Cormega. And then the second disc is this Revelations type thing. Really good stuff, though. Oh, my nose is itchy. Yeah, this was really cool too, man. Definitely a decent concept record. Pretty cool stuff. So give that a shot. Raw Forever. I enjoy that. It's good stuff. And then Cormega's My Philosophy. Again, very, very solid stuff here, man. A little bit more features on here. We got some AZ, Redman, Styles P. Got some Nature, Raekwon, Black Rob. It's interesting that Nature's on here. Nature's actually the guy that replaced him in the firm when Cormega had a falling out with Nas. So Cormega originally was supposed to be part of that group, as we know, and Nature ended up doing the record with him. So yeah, because there is an original song with Cormega, but we know that shit. And then we got Mega, Cormega's Mega EP, which is solid. And this bugs me, man, because this is what I hate about EPs. Like, you just want more. You just want more. When did this come out? 2019, a couple years old now. Got a track on there with Havoc. I think Mega's super dope. Super dope. Here's a cat I don't know much about. I picked up this album, I want to say in 11-12, just based on a recommendation. I think it was from the Underground Hip Hop Forum. Someone posted or whatever, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Before I Awoke, Koss. And this turned out to be fucking amazing. I really enjoyed this album. It might even have made my top 10 that year, man, or something. I really enjoyed this album. Got some Scented Blue on there. Yeah, I recommend this. Really good stuff. I'm not sure where he's from. Then we got the Coffee Brothers, Devin the Dudes group. Waiting Our Turn. As you guys know, I'm a huge Devin the Dude fan. I don't know, we haven't got to the D's yet, so, and actually, all the Devin stuff happens to be sitting like right there, so close enough. I'm a huge Devin fan. I love Devin. He just cracks me up, but the group stuff, it's okay. I mean, Devin is by far the best in the group. The other cats they are what they are, but it's got a couple decent tracks on that one. That album is definitely a lot better than this one. Fresh Brew, the follow-up record. Blunts and Pens, man, it's just a banger. Just a fucking banger. And then the whole rest of the album is super slow. It's like a Devin album, but with like not the comedy that Devin has in his tracks, and the flair. I don't know, man. It gets really boring. Starts out with a banger and it gets really boring. So yeah. Then we got Count Bass D, the Atlanta MC. You would never know this guy was from Atlanta based on what his music sounds like, but Pre-Life Crisis from 1994. This is his very first album. It was like years between records too. Like he dropped this in 1994, which I never got up on this until a few years back. I'd heard a bunch of Count Bass D stuff like post 2000. I'd never heard this album until, I don't know when I picked this up, 5 years ago maybe? Something like that. So that was my introduction to this album from 1994. Obviously a promo copy. This is really fun. Fucking good album, man. Really good. I never hear people talk about Count Bass D. I don't know if people don't like him but he does have a ton of material, and he's got tons of records I don't have, but these are the ones I have. So, Actor Waist Size. I mean, right there, you know this guy's got some comedic flair to him. He's not a comic rapper, but he's definitely got his moments. But this is really good stuff. And this was a record that I absolutely loved. The Risk Takers, which was Count Bass D, and Insight, who produced the whole album. Man, Insight, producing Count Bass D, which himself, Count Bass D, is a producer too, but this is fucking awesome. Really good record, man. Highly recommend this. If you guys can find a copy. I can't remember when this came out, maybe 2000. I don't know. I want to say 12. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but somebody fill me in. I can't remember all the years. My brain, I'm getting old. I'm getting fucking old. I'm an angry old man. No, but anyways, we're going to have to go all the way to this other side here. We finished off that. And continue. And this is going to get a little tight. That's what she said. All right. So the Coupe, Kill My Landlord. Yeah, man. Their first record. I always love the Coupe, man. I love Boots. Rest in peace to Pam. Oh, dude. Pam was dope, man. Yeah, she was the DJ. Kill My Landlord, first album. Good shit. Very political West Coast stuff. I love Boots. What the fuck was the name of the movie that Boots just directed that he just did? I can't remember that shit. Somebody leave that down, the name of the film down below. I still need to check that out, but always been a big fan of Boots, man. He's really fun. He's fun. They followed up with some Genocide and Juice. This album cover is just iconic to me, man. I love this album cover. Always loved this. Remember the Source promoting this record back in the day. Had that shit cut out on my wall. Loved it. Fat Cats and Bigger Fish. We all know Pimps. Gunsmoke. Oh, dude, this album's just full of bangers, man. Repo Man. So much good stuff. I love the political angle of this West Coast shit. It's fun, man. It's really good. I'm going to put that over here, too, so give me some more finger room here. That's what she said. The Coupe Steal This double album. This is the second version of the record. Yeah, because it's got the disc 2, which is live performance. So this is with like the re-release, which is kind of cool, but the Shipment, man. Oh, me and Jesus the Pimp in 79 Granada last night. That song's amazing. 20,000 Gun Salute. It's just full of bangers, man. It's full of fucking bangers. Cars and Shoes. Pizza. I love this record, man. So damn good. Love me some Coupe. Then we got Party Music. The infamous Party Music, man. If you guys don't know the story with the first release of this album, it's really fucking weird. So we all know about 9/11. And what happened with the Twin Towers. Now, this album was slated to come out on 9/11, and it had a picture of a plane going into the towers on the original album cover. I can't explain that for the fucking life of me, how that even is. It's the most coincidental shit ever. So they obviously pulled this before, it hit the shelves. There was some copies that were leaked, and they used to sell for crazy, crazy money. So this is what we got. We got this album cover with the album Party Music. I'm not really too sure what they were going for with the plane going into the towers called Party Music, but it's the Coupe, man. It's the way Boots' mind works, I guess. But I still like this album cover, but the other album cover is crazy, to be honest. It's actually kind of fucking sad, to be honest. But 5 Million Ways to Kill a CEO. Love that track, man. So dope. Lazy Motherfucker. Get Up with the Dead Prez. With Dead Prez, I should say. Yeah. Now, I love this album, man. It's good too, man. It's not as good as the other ones, but it's still really... What am I doing? Let's put this back in here. Then they followed up with Pick a Bigger Weapon, which the sound was really starting to change at this time. It was just him and Pam at the time here. The other dude's name is escaping me right now. I can't remember what the other guy's name is. Yeah, Pam the Functress, man. She passed away a few years back. I'm not 100% sure. I think she got sick or something like that. My favorite Mutiny. Man, there's some good tracks on here. It wasn't my favorite Coop. They were kind of, I wouldn't say getting a little bit stale, but I mean the message was still there in the Coop's music, but you know, some of the sounds, some of the ideas that they were doing wasn't the greatest. And this is a great example of one. Sorry to hear you. Sorry to bother you. Fuck. Love the album cover. I mean, fuck. How relevant is that? Always. But the sound, like this record is just, it's more of like a experimental sound. Like it's just kind of all over the place. Like Boots is really trying to do something different here. It's produced by himself. And when did this come out? 2012. I think this is the last shit that the Coop did, man. I think Boots might have done maybe some other stuff, but this was really, really hard to get into. And it's, you know, it's something I haven't listened to in years, but yeah, I don't know. Craig G, man, Kingpin. Now, Craig G is one of my personal favorite MCs of all time. He doesn't make the greatest albums. You know, he's one of those cats that kind of falls into the same categories like an AZ or a Cannabis or Jadakiss. Jadakiss, amazing MC, doesn't really make the greatest albums in my opinion. But there's a lot of these great MCs out there that have a history of making mediocre to bad albums. You know, I mean, he was trying like a little bit more of a house thing on here, like rock the house, turn this house into a home. You know, the beats were, I don't know, I don't know if it was Marley Marl at the time or Craig G wanted to do this more of this house thing, but the beats are kind of all over the place. It's not really a great album, even though it could have been so much better. I mean, it was Marley Marl, man. You know, and then they did return with this one. Now that's more like it, which is, you know, kind of an appropriate title because this album was better than the first one. Still, the beats, you know, kind of lacking at times. It was all over the place, man. There's some R&B shit on here that was kind of corny. I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck was going on with Craig G in these albums, but they could have been so much damn better. Really. I don't know. I don't even remember why he wasn't signed on Cold Chillin' at the time. He got a deal through someone else. This is an album that came out 2003, like way after the fact. Like those albums are early 90s, like 90, 91 kind of thing. And then he was kind of radio silent for a long time. We got some Primo production on here. Nuts, Rockwilder, Molly Mall. Who else? I know we got Arabian Nights on here. Beat Miners, Domingo, Large Professor. And it's solid. It's not fantastic even with that production lineup, but it's a lot better than his previous efforts in my opinion. I think this is pretty dope. I mean, it's definitely worth owning if you're a big Craig G fan. I thought this was a return to some good stuff. So he links back up with Molly Mall for Operation Take Hip Hop Back, which makes a lot of sense why it was called that. And it was good, man. It was good. Marley Marl was starting to do these production albums with, you know, of course he came back and squashed his beef with KRS-One and did one with KRS-One. And then did this one with Molly Mall, which was really cool. And this was cool, man. You got some Talib Kweli. We got some Cormega, Sadat X for features on here. Some dope tracks, man. Made the Change, man. That track right there is fucking amazing. Really like this album. Really, really like this album. And then this album right here, I feel like is me and all of us old 40-plus men. Craig G, Ramblings of an Angry Old Man. That's totally me. Get the fuck off my lawn. I'm one of those. I like take care of my lawn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got some Marco Polo production on here, which is dope. Elemento producing K-Slim. It's dope stuff, man. We got some Beat Miners. I enjoyed this record. I know some people didn't really care for it. I thought it was actually really solid, man. 2012 again. A lot of 2012 albums in this shelf. It's weird. Love the album cover. It was a fun album. It's a fun album. And then this album right here, I Rap and Go Home, was never released on CD. It was only released on vinyl. I do own the vinyl, but I just made my own copy on CD if I ever wanted to. I guess flipping it around isn't going to show shit, is it? Fucking dummy. Anyways, that's a track listener right there. Got some Cool Keith on there. Buckshot Roscos. We got some Rock on there. Jarobi. That's right. Jarobi was on here, man. It's crazy. From Tribe and, of course, Cannabis, to Speak of the Devil. Cool Keith. This was really dope, man. This was really damn good. I like the concept of this, just bars and beats and just go fuck yourself. I rap and go home. That's exactly what it was, man. It's really good. I wish Craig G would do more shit like... Actually, Craig G's been putting out some good shit even recently. Some shorter kind of EPs and stuff, and which, you know, solid. All right, so where are we here? We'll do two more here. We'll do the Craig Mack stuff, and then we'll stop this video. We're timed out, 34 minutes. Craig Mack Project, Funk the World. Rest in peace to Craig Mack. Yeah, apparently this was a BMG purchase for me. because I got this. Yeah, I definitely got this through BMG. I love this album. I know a lot of people don't really care for it that much, but I love it, man. Get Down's dope. Project with Staff, Flavor in the Air Chorus. I wish they had. I guess the remix was done after the album came out, whatever. But Real Raw, I think it's got that Young and the Restless sample in there. It's kind of cool. I like Mainline. Making Moves with Puff, man. Dude, I love the beat in that track, man. I think it's probably an easy Mo B beat, I would say. But man, Puff is just fucking can get annoying. But I really like this album. It's such a shame that Puff kind of gave him the raw deal, which is kind of funny. There is a song on here called Real Raw, but I feel like he got a raw deal. Man, Craig just never got paid, man. He got fucking kind of used and abused and thrown out. He was the leadoff man for Biggie, and then they just kind of forgot about him, man. That was it. You know, that was his bad boy shit. And then he did put out another record, Operation Get Down, which I actually enjoy. Jock in My Style, I really like. Rap Hangover. There's some songs in here that are dope. It's not as good as the other one. Production style is completely different, but just such a shame what happened to Craig Mack. You know, like he never got paid. He got into a weird life, involved in cults and shit, and got sick and then fucking passed away. Like, it's just kind of shame. Like, he left so much on the table. I know there's a lot of material that was recorded throughout the 2000s and even later on and stuff that has been leaked and released here and there and stuff like that, but he never really amounted to making albums again, which is kind of a shame. But I always liked Mack's style, man. He had that flow, he had that voice, he had that cadence, he had that style about him, which hence Jock in My Style, man. I don't know. I enjoy him. He's cool for what he is. But yeah, that's going to do it for there. Here, I'll just pull this out so I remember where I'm going to be at. Starting off with some C-Rays walls. And then we'll finish off. That'll be the last part. So part 4 will be the last of the C's. And then we'll be getting into the big D's. All right, man. So yeah, that's part 10. Leave comments down below what you guys liked. And just throw me some comments, man. I like responding to them. So... but thank you once again for watching to the 10 or 12 people that are actually checking out these videos. It is what it is. They're still fun to do. So anyways, guys, I'll check you guys later. And as usual, deuces.